Neil is a young man who lives in a wealthy family and is preparing to enter a prestigious law school at the insistence of his father. But he is not attracted to this path. He feels that his life is predetermined by others and sees no meaning in it. Neil dreams of becoming an artist and painting pictures. Although his parents consider it only a temporary hobby, his life looks successful on the outside, but on the inside he feels dissatisfaction and lack of understanding of what he really wants. At the beginning of the movie, Neil celebrates his birthday and his parents give him a new car, emphasizing their control over his life. However, while blowing out the candles on the birthday cake, Neil makes a wish. He wants to find answers to his questions about life and realize what he really wants. One day, Neil meets a strange man named Grant. He claims that he grants wishes and is the embodiment of destiny. He offers Neil a trip down Route 60, a road that is not on ordinary maps. Neil accepts the offer and goes on an unusual journey, hoping to find answers to his questions and understand how to proceed. Along the way, Neil encounters different people and situations that make him think about life and himself. The first stop occurs when Neil meets Bobby Davis, a lawyer, who accompanies him on the journey ahead. Bobby tells Neil that he was once a successful lawyer, but because of his passion for playing pool, he lost everything he had. He describes his inner torment and regret over the choices that led him to disaster. Bobby becomes a kind of mentor to Neil on his journey, helping him realize that the decisions a person makes can dramatically change his fate. Continuing on his journey, Neil finds himself in a strange town where he meets a woman named Linda. She tells Neil that she lives in a world of illusions and deceptions because her life has always been built on lies. Linda offers Neil to experience her world, but he refuses, realizing that a life full of deception will not bring him true satisfaction. Linda also shares her inner feelings about how hard it was to live a life of constant self-deception and how it destroyed her inner world in another town. Neil meets a group of people who live by strict rules and laws that control their every emotion and action. The inhabitants of this place obey strict requirements and follow the letter of the law, not allowing themselves free will. Neil tries to understand why they live this way and finds out that these people are afraid of mistakes and therefore prefer to live by the established rules. In this situation, Neil realizes that striving for absolute control over life robs it of its joy and freedom. One of the key moments of the movie is Neil's encounter with people who deceive others for their own gain. He observes how they manipulate others and exploit their trust. In this scene, Neil is faced with a moral dilemma of whether to follow a path ruled by deceit and selfishness or to follow his principles, even if it takes a lot of effort. He feels that these people symbolize everything he is trying to avoid in his life and makes a decision not to be influenced by them. Neil then meets Laura, a girl he has seen repeatedly in his dreams. She becomes for him a symbol of the ideal he is looking for in life. Laura tells Neil that she too is on a quest, but her journey has been full of mistakes and disappointments. Their dialogue reveals the deep inner feelings of both characters, who strive to find true love and meaning in life, but face difficulties along the way. Mutual understanding and support help them gain confidence that their search is not in vain. Neil continues his journey and finds himself in a town where people are used to being sued for any reason. Here, he meets one of the residents who is engaged in an endless battle through the courts, trying to prove his case in petty matters. This man tells Neil about how litigation has become the meaning of his life, although it has actually robbed him of his joy and humanity. In this situation, Neil realizes that constantly fighting for justice, especially in petty matters, can lead to losing oneself. Neil's journey along Route 60 continues, and he finds himself in the next town where he meets a group of people who are bogged down in their stereotypes and prejudices. These people live by patterns and do not allow themselves to step outside of the established norms. Neil feels that this town symbolizes the limitations that his family and society has placed on him. He realizes that if he follows these stereotypes, he will never find his true self. The final part of the movie shows how Neil meets Grant again. He realizes that his whole journey has been a kind of test, which helped him to realize that his life should not be subject to other people's expectations, but to his own desires and goals. He decides that he will not go to law school and will follow his own path. Becoming an artist, Neil's journey along Route 60 was an opportunity for him to realize important things about himself, life, and the choices we make.